Another excellent episode of Doctor Who's The Dalek Invasion of Earth. The intensity continues. The attempt by the Resistance to attack the Dalek saucer while it's landed seems to fail miserably. Unfortunately, many of them are killed. It appears initially that the Doctor may not have survived. He emerges eventually. Dalek Invasion of Earth would feature one of the strongest supporting casts in a Doctor Who serial, unique supporting casts in a Doctor Who serial, outside of the Doctor and his companions. Alan Judd's Dortmund, Anne Davies' Jenny, Peter Fraser's David, and Graham Rigby's Larry Madison all make for very fun, interesting, engaging characters. To read out some context about the casting and characters, on the 12th of March 1964, Trade Paper Television Today announced that Carol Ann Ford would depart from her role as Susan at the end of her contract due to her dissatisfaction of the character's development. Whittaker wanted a strong reason for Susan's departure. To assist the story's development, Ford and Hartnell were invited to stay with Nation and his wife over a weekend in August. In June 1964, head of serials Donald Wilson considered continuing the show without the character of Barbara and with a younger actress for Susan. Delays by controller of programs Donald Baverstock to renew cast contracts meant that Susan's replacement, then intended to be Jenny, originally known as Cider, could not be introduced in the serial. Director Richard Martin asked Anne Davies, who was cast as Jenny, if she would be available as a regular cast member, but he could not offer the role. The Dalek Invasion of Earth was the first speaking role of Nicholas Smith, who portrayed Wells. When Smith discovered he was only starring in one episode, he approached Martin. Martin asked him to return in a later episode to lead the Human Rebellion. Jean Conroy, who played one of the women in the woods in the 5th episode, died in a street accident on the 14th of November. The episode was broadcast posthumously. That's very sad. The scene where Barbara and Jenny are wheeling Dortmund across London and trying to hide from the Daleks. The Daleks going across, Big Ben and Westminster, Big Ben, Westminster. It's just extraordinary. It's a classic sequence. Of course, it's musical accompaniment is this bizarre piece of percussion. I think it's electronic percussion. It sounds like it could be. Even if it's electronic, I can't imagine why they felt it was effective. I guess they felt any innovative electronic music will do, but beyond the 1960s, beyond 1964, I can imagine it's just not very effective. But still, the visuals are extraordinary, or the music can be a bit unusual, a backdrop, frankly. The Dalek Invasion of Earth features tension, audacity, imagination, some of the most audacious television to come out up to that point in history, and relatively to this day, it's still a magnificent accomplishment. It's difficult for a series now which relies too much on either digital effects or even without digital effects being too pseudo-cinematic to really remember. Dalek Invasion of Earth, due to its budgetary limitations, had to really rely on a clever and precise understanding of space so that it might communicate its world effectively, and I think it absolutely did. Enjoy episode 3 of the Dalek Invasion of Earth sped up in a nice sepia tone. Tune in for episode 4 if you're so inclined. My retrospective.